come to Wakame, and today we are here to meet Chef D from MasterChef Australia, who's coming in all the way from Melbourne, and she's going to be here with us for the next 5 days, where she will be doing a few master classes, running an a la carte kitchen, and also running a special menu. Chef D, originally from Sri Lanka, has been in Melbourne since 2007, and now she's going to bring to Dubai the best of Sri Lankan cuisine right to you, and we look forward to seeing you here soon. Good evening, everyone. We are here at Wakame, and we are very privileged to be meeting and speaking to Chef D. Williams, who's come all the way from Melbourne, Sri Lankan by origin, but she's been the first female Sri Lankan MasterChef finalist, and first time in Dubai, and we are so glad to have you here.
Thank you, Channa. It was my pleasure to be here, and this is the first time, as you said, in Dubai, and loving it at the moment. And it's been a really good time for the last 2 days. So hoping for the best next couple of days.
Fantastic. We wish you all the well. And as you see, Sri Lankan cuisine has, it's been very popular over the years. And of course, Chef D, one of her most objective is to ensure that Sri Lankan cuisine gets more familiar, it gets the popularity that it needs, and over the next couple of days she will be showcasing some of her signature dishes as well as some of her special dishes, both in the regular a la carte as well as for the set menus that she'll be running over the next couple of days. So, first question.
Yes.
What drove you to the kitchen?
All right, so this was kind of like the question that comes out every time. So as you know, like Sri Lankans, the first thing, like when you're 10 or 11, you learn like little things, grating the coconut or grinding the coconut sambal in the miriskala. So those are the moments. So from there, my mom was a really passionate cook. So I learned from my grandparents and my mom, and then taken that into Australia with me. And then when I went to Australia, it's kind of like, you see the MasterChef, they really showcase the authentic flavors. And for me, like showcasing the Sri Lankan authentic flavors with a little bit of fusion as well, I really wanted to get onto the MasterChef. That's my first plan. But then obviously you got to finish your studies, and then you got to do get the permanent residency and things like that. So as soon as that's all finished, applied for the MasterChef. And I didn't get the chance to go in the first time, but I applied again and then went in for the second time. And then, as you know, in anything, you had to go through several examinations or tests or questions and things like that. And then from there, I had the privilege to go in with my signature crab curry to showcase some of Sri Lankan authentic flavors with a little bit of my fusion too.
Fantastic, that's great. And I think that inspired other Sri Lankans to follow through, or that ambition to be in MasterChef. At the end of the day, it's one of the best cooking shows in the world.
Yes.
Very competitive, as well as bringing out the best of all individuals. If you were not a chef, what would you be?
All right, so there's so many dreams when I was little, but the cooking was where I was learning, but I never thought that I could take that as a passion or a career. But I did study hotel management, but if I wouldn't call it a chef at the moment, because still I'm learning, like not a professional chef, but when you actually work with different people, you do get that knowledge as well. So I wanted to be a doctor when I was little. So, because every Sri Lankan parents would ask you to be a doctor or lawyer or accountant, but because my first job was in hospitality, and I was the secretary for the directors. And what I've noticed is it's kind of an environment. You're not stick to one particular job, because you can move into different departments, and there's housekeeping, there's food and beverage and things like that. But I never thought that I would be in the kitchen. Never thought. Because even when I was studying, I did the third degree in cooking, but I never explored into like becoming a chef or anything like that. So it literally, I think the passion drove into becoming a chef or a cook for me, I think.
Nice, excellent. So that's probably been your...
I would say something call.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And like you said, chefs are always learning. There are a lot of things to learn. The culinary world is evolving daily.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot that I can learn. Now, being a Sri Lankan, of course, we are very passionate and fond of our cuisine. But if Sri Lankan cuisine was not there, what would you choose?
All right, so if it's not Sri Lankan, but I really love the flavors, the bold flavors. It needs to be really punchy, and the spices. So I would say probably Indian. Don't say there's no Indian cuisine, so I would probably say Indian.
That would be your next choice?
Next choice, yeah.
All right, excellent. What would your what would your preferred dish be if it's an Indian cuisine?
All right, probably I would go with South Indian dishes. Probably puri stands out more because it's a tiny little thing, the pani puri, but then the flavors you impact in there, like you put so many different stuff, and then the one mouthful, one bite, kind of like the explosion of flavors, and it kind of like takes you into the streets of India.
Right, excellent. Sri Lankans are, well, let's say in Dubai, they are very, very, there is a massive community of young chefs and growing chefs, and if you were to give them a message, what would it be?
All right, so I would say something probably from my experience, because I never thought that I will come this far, because even in MasterChef, I was there for like first week, top 24, but I never thought this journey will take me through to different places. Like I've been to Malaysia, did a pop-up, and then master classes, and then currently I'm here. So I think never to give up if you have a passion in anything. It could be cookery, it could be hospitality, it could be anything. If you really push yourself, and like you need to really put your face every time, even if you get rejections, because I've had so many rejections even before coming here. There's so many different hotels and restaurants I approached, so you're going to get the rejections, but I think to keeping your mindset, no, I can do this, and that's probably what I would say to the younger generation. Never to give up.
Never to give up. That's, I think, always a good thing to keep in mind, to encourage younger ones, because when we don't achieve or when we don't meet our goals, we tend to kind of either withdraw from it or
Absolutely.
we give up on our dreams. But like you said, you don't give up. You're always pursuing what you set your mind to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dubai. I know you've been here only for 2 days. Your first impressions of Dubai?
I think they have come so far, like really, probably about 10, 15 years ago, it could have been nothing. And the way the buildings and the way the food and the culture, and they literally they've started from nothing, and where they are, probably in another couple of years, their food scene will be huge.
Now, you're currently based in Melbourne.
Melbourne, yeah.
Right? So Melbourne is quite a large place, from what I've heard. Would you be surprised if I told you that Dubai has close to 20,000 restaurants?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It is. Sri Lankan cuisine is there in certain parts, but of course, I think a lot of Sri Lankans would love to see a very more prominent restaurant, where we can actually showcase, like you want to, the flavors, the spices, the menus. I mean, there are so many things we could do, and Sri Lankans would really love that. I think we should have you coming to Dubai more often, and I mean, you can also probably get more chefs to come along as well. I mean, that's something that we could do. I think Sri Lankans in Dubai would look forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how often do you go to Sri Lanka?
Well, I was there last year.
Okay. Do you miss Sri Lanka or?
Probably we try to go every now and then. Like
Alright.
probably the first time I went after 5 years because I went in as international student to Australia, so it was really tough. But then after that, it's kind of like every 6 months, every year. But the first place I went after MasterChef was Sri Lanka because that's where you started everything, and then I really wanted to take it back to them and then showcase that flavors that I showcased in MasterChef. And so I had the opportunity with Jetwing hotel groups, so I did that. So from there now it's kind of like you got to take it to other parts of the world, not only in Sri Lanka.
With the next question, there is no judgment.
Okay.
What's your favorite restaurant in Sri Lanka? Or let's say in Colombo.
That's the hardest one. All right. Never been to so many Sri Lankan restaurants because I love my mom's cooking. So.
But there must be something that you say,
Alright, so
when you're in
that
Sri Lanka,
means-
because this is important for those who are visiting Sri Lanka.
Yes, absolutely. So.
Restaurant recommended by Chef D.
All right. So. Nothing comes to my mind. Because when you go to these hotels and you're stuck in the hotels, you're like literally in there eating in the restaurants, right? In the hotel restaurants.
True.
So I would say cinnamon grand, not chutneys, the one with the fish.
And cinnamon bread?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't remember what that one is. Cinnamon grand, not chutneys. It's quite often we go there. I can't remember.
So we're gonna kind of highlight it as the seafood restaurant. at the
Seafood, yeah. What is that one? Do you know? You know?
No, I'm equally bad, So, but yeah, Sri Lankan restaurant. Very important that someone like you speaks about our cuisine because it also highlights Sri Lanka as a destination.
Absolutely.
As a travel destination, a food destination. Surprisingly, there are so many people who travel to Dubai, to Sri Lanka from Dubai very often, and they're very familiar. They're familiar with the pol sambal, they're
absolutely.
familiar with the ambultial, they know the yellow rice, and they sometimes know Sri Lankan cuisine better than Sri Lankans as well.
Yeah.
So which is actually a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So someone like you, and of course there are few chefs around the world who make it a point to always talk about their roots.
Yeah.
So yes, this is something that we appreciate. I know you are running on a very, very tight schedule.
Yeah.
It was so nice to meet you. We would like to thank you on behalf of Laknadha Radio for meeting us, showcasing a little bit about the kitchen, and I think the guys later on they will be able to see, the people will be see, Chef D in action, and your dishes as well. And it's so nice to have you in Dubai, and we wish you all the best for the next 4 days.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me. And it was a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Dee.
Thank you.